Greetings to everyone here. Life is a journey of infinite possibilities, a canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of your effort and determination. But how often do we hesitate not because the path ahead is blocked, but because we choose to block it ourselves? Excuses are the chains we willingly wear, binding us to inaction, while growth is the flight that liberates us. Excuses are seductive. They comfort us, give us reasons to stay where we are, and absolve us of the responsibility to change. Growth, on the other hand, demands courage, clarity, and commitment. It asks us to face our fears, dismantle our doubts, and step into the unknown. Today, let us commit to shifting our focus from the ease of excuses to the transformative power of growth. Let's explore how we can embrace growth as a way of life and break free from the grip of self-imposed limitations. Excuses are not mere words or fleeting thoughts, they are the invisible barriers we construct to shield ourselves from effort, challenge, and change. Each time we say, I can't do this, or it's not the right time, we add another layer to the walls that confine us. These walls may seem like protection, but in reality they are prisons we build with our own hands. Excuses often come disguised as justifications. I'm too busy, I don't have the resources, others are luckier than me. But if we look closely, we will see that these justifications are not rooted in truth. They are born out of fear, hesitation, or a reluctance to confront the unknown. We fear failure, so we convince ourselves not to try. We fear judgment, so we tell ourselves it's better to stay where we are. Over time, these excuses pile up like stones, forming a fortress of limitations. The tragedy is that these barriers are self-imposed. Life itself does not create them. The world is vast, full of opportunities and challenges waiting to be embraced. It is we who decide to put up fences and gates, not to keep others out, but to keep ourselves in. And while these barriers may feel safe, they also prevent us from reaching our true potential. When we rely on excuses, we surrender our power, we give control over our lives to external factors. Instead of asking, how can I overcome this, we resign ourselves to why I can't. In doing so, we lose sight of the fact that growth and progress are not about having perfect conditions, they are about making the best of the conditions we have. Breaking down these barriers begins with a simple realization: excuses are not real. They are mental constructs, illusions we have created and can dismantle. Every time you catch yourself saying, I can't because, ask what can I do instead. Every wall has a door if you are willing to look for it. The truth is, life will always present challenges. Circumstances will rarely be perfect. But those who grow are not the ones who wait for perfection, they are the ones who find a way forward despite the imperfections. Excuses keep us comfortable, but they also keep us stagnant. Growth, on the other hand, demands that we step out of that comfort zone. It requires effort, resilience, and a willingness to fail and learn, but the rewards are immeasurable. So let us stop building barriers. Let us stop hiding behind the safety of excuses. Instead, let us embrace the courage to step out, take responsibility, and create a life that reflects our true potential. The only real barrier to your growth is the one you choose to build, and the moment you stop building, the path forward becomes clear. Growth is not something that happens to you, it is something you decide to pursue. It is not dependent on perfect circumstances or favorable conditions. It does not wait for the right moment, the right resources, or the right people to show up. Growth is a conscious, deliberate choice, a decision to evolve, to expand, and to rise above where you are today. Many people believe that growth is a privilege reserved for those who have certain advantages: wealth, education, connections, or time. They see it as something external granted by life circumstances. But this perspective is fundamentally flawed. Growth is not a matter of what you have, it is a matter of how you choose to respond to what you have. If you look at the lives of those who have achieved greatness, you will find one common thread: they did not wait for ideal conditions. They started where they were with what they had. They faced adversity, setbacks, and limitations, but they did not let these define their path. Instead, they made a choice to grow regardless of the circumstances. The reality is that life rarely presents us with a perfect scenario. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and reasons to wait. If you allow these to dictate your actions, you will find yourself perpetually stuck, waiting for a moment that never comes. Growth requires you to break this cycle. It requires you to decide that no matter the circumstances, you will take steps forward. This choice is not always easy. It often demands courage because growth involves stepping into the unknown. It requires humility because growth means acknowledging that you have more to learn and more to achieve. It demands resilience because the path of growth is seldom smooth. But in making this choice, you reclaim your power. You take responsibility for your life and your progress. When you see growth as a choice, you begin to realize that every moment is an opportunity. Whether you are facing a challenge or enjoying success, there is always a chance to grow. In adversity, you learn resilience. In success, you learn humility. In failure, you learn perseverance. Every situation, no matter how difficult or mundane, holds the potential for growth if you are willing to embrace it. This mindset shifts your focus from external conditions to internal possibilities. Instead of saying, I can't grow because of my situation, you ask, how can I grow despite my situation? Instead of waiting for the right time, you create the right time. Instead of seeking reasons to stop, you seek reasons to keep going. The beauty of this choice is that it is always available to you. You don't need to be rich, powerful, or lucky to grow. You simply need to decide. Each day, each moment, you can choose to take a step forward. It might be a small step, but even small steps add up over time. Growth is not a gift handed to you by life. It is a gift you give to yourself. It is a declaration that you will not settle for less than your potential, that you will not be limited by your circumstances, and that you will keep striving, learning, and evolving. So ask yourself, are you waiting for the perfect conditions, or are you ready to choose growth today? The power is in your hands, and the moment to decide is now. Responsibility is the foundation of all meaningful growth. It is the realization that your life, your actions, and your outcomes are in your hands. Without responsibility, growth is impossible because responsibility is what connects your intentions to your actions and your actions to your results. Responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that happens. It means recognizing that you have the power to shape your life. It means acknowledging that while you may not control all circumstances, you always control how you respond to them. In this way, responsibility is empowering. It shifts your mindset from being a passive recipient of life's events to an active participant in creating your reality. Many people shy away from responsibility because it feels heavy. It requires effort, commitment, and sometimes the humility to admit that we've made mistakes. But avoiding responsibility only leads to stagnation. When we refuse to take ownership of our choices and circumstances, we give away our power. We place the blame on others, on luck, on the world around us, and in doing so, we limit our ability to change and grow. Taking responsibility is the first step toward breaking free from this cycle. It begins with a simple yet profound acknowledgement: I am responsible for my life. This doesn't mean that everything is your fault, but it does mean that you have the ability to influence and direct your path. When you take responsibility, you stop focusing on what others did or didn't do and start focusing on what you can do. Responsibility also requires self-awareness. It asks you to look honestly at your life and identify where you've been holding back, making excuses, or avoiding challenges. It's not about self-criticism, but about self-understanding. When you take responsibility, you learn to ask yourself tough questions. What could I have done differently? How can I improve next time? What steps can I take now to move forward? These questions guide you towards solutions rather than keeping you stuck in problems. Growth thrives on responsibility because responsibility leads to action. When you accept that you are responsible for your progress, you naturally take steps to improve. You stop waiting for others to change or for circumstances to align perfectly. Instead, you begin to act, and with action comes momentum, and with momentum comes growth. Moreover, responsibility fosters resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. But when you take responsibility, you stop seeing obstacles as insurmountable roadblocks. Instead, you view them as opportunities to learn and adapt. Each challenge becomes a lesson, and each failure becomes a stepping stone. Responsibility gives you the strength to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may be. Taking responsibility also empowers you to lead by example. When you embody responsibility, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions show that growth is possible, that ownership leads to empowerment, and that life is what you make of it. In this way, responsibility not only transforms your life, but also has the potential to create a ripple effect that uplifts those around you. Ultimately, responsibility is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is the realization that you are the creator of your story, the architect of your future. It is the understanding that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by how you choose to respond to them. So, embrace responsibility as the seed of growth. Nurture it with intention, water it with effort, and watch as it blossoms into a life of purpose, fulfillment, endless possibility. Responsibility is not something to fear, it is the key to unlocking your greatest potential. In life, it's easy to get caught up in what feels impossible. The mind has a tendency to dwell on limitations, highlighting all the reasons why something cannot be done. I don't have enough time, I'm not skilled enough. I don't have the right resources. These thoughts can become so consuming that they paralyze us, keeping us stuck in inaction. But growth and progress do not come from focusing on what you lack, they come from focusing on what you can do with what you have. When you fixate on what you cannot do, you give your energy to scarcity. You build a mindset that looks for problems instead of solutions. This mindset becomes a habit, a lens through which you see the world. The more you focus on what you can't do, the more powerless you feel, and the cycle of inaction deepens. But when you shift your focus to what you can do, something remarkable happens. Your perspective changes. You start to see possibilities instead of roadblocks, and even small actions begin to feel significant. Focusing on what you can do is not about ignoring challenges, it's about taking ownership of your power in the face of those challenges. No matter how difficult a situation may seem, there is always something within your control, some step, no matter how small, that you can take to move forward. It might be as simple as learning a new skill, asking for help, or rethinking your approach. These actions may not solve the entire problem immediately, but they build momentum. And momentum, once created, has the power to shift your entire trajectory. Think of it like climbing a mountain. If you only focus on how steep and high the peak is, you may feel overwhelmed and defeated before you even start. But if you focus on taking the first step, and then the next, the climb becomes manageable. Over time, those steps add up, and you find yourself higher than you ever imagined possible. This shift in focus also cultivates a mindset of gratitude and resourcefulness. When you focus on what you can do, you begin to appreciate the tools, skills, and opportunities already within your reach. You stop lamenting what you don't have and start leveraging what you do have. This shift is incredibly empowering because it reminds you that growth is not dependent on perfect conditions. It is about making the most of what's available and creating opportunities where none seem to exist. Focusing on what you can do also trains your mind to seek solutions. Problems that once seemed insurmountable start to break down into smaller, solvable pieces. You begin to ask better questions. What's one thing I can do today to move forward? How can I adapt to this challenge? Who or what can help me take the next step? These questions lead to actions, and actions lead to progress. Another important benefit of this mindset is resilience. Life will always present obstacles, unexpected challenges, failures, and setbacks. If you focus on what you can't control, these obstacles can feel like dead ends. But when you focus on what you can control, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. You learn to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, there is always something you can do to keep moving forward. This principle applies to every area of life, work, relationships, health, personal growth. If you're facing difficulties in your career, instead of dwelling on external circumstances like a tough job market, focus on improving your skills, networking, or exploring new opportunities. If you're struggling in a relationship, focus on the actions you can take, communicating openly, listening more attentively, or showing kindness. These small, focused efforts often lead to significant breakthroughs over time. Ultimately, the choice to focus on what you can do is an act of self-empowerment. It's a declaration that you will not be defined by limitations, but by possibilities. It's a reminder that while you may not control everything, you always control something, and that something is enough to spark change. So, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by what feels impossible, pause and ask yourself, what can I do right now? Start there. Even the smallest actions have the power to shift your momentum and lead you toward growth. Focus on what you can do and watch as your life begins to transform, one step at a time. Progress does not come wrapped in comfort. It does not arrive when everything feels easy or when you are perfectly at ease with where you are. Instead, progress demands that you step beyond your comfort zone into the space where uncertainty, challenge, and even fear reside. This is the space where growth happens, and it is inherently uncomfortable. Discomfort is the friction that arises when you push against your own limits. It's the soreness you feel when you stretch muscles that haven't been used, the hesitation that grips you when you try something new, and the vulnerability that surfaces when you confront your fears. It's the resistance you encounter when you attempt to move forward in unfamiliar territory. But this resistance is not a sign of failure, it is a sign that you are growing. When you stay within your comfort zone, you are confined by what you already know and what you've already mastered. There is no challenge there, and without challenge, there is no growth. Discomfort forces you to question your assumptions, to learn new skills, and to adapt to new realities. It stretches you in ways that comfort never can. Discomfort also teaches resilience. It prepares you for the inevitable difficulties that come with pursuing meaningful goals. Every moment of discomfort becomes a lesson in endurance, a reminder that you are capable of handling more than you thought. It shapes your character, building the mental toughness required to overcome obstacles and persevere when things get tough. Progress requires a willingness to endure discomfort because it often involves failure, rejection, or setbacks. These moments can feel disheartening, but they are not the end, they are stepping stones. Discomfort forces you to confront these challenges head-on, teaching you to view them not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and grow. Discomfort is also deeply personal. What feels uncomfortable to one person may be manageable for another. This is why progress is so individual. It is about pushing your own boundaries, not comparing yourself to others. It is about stepping into the challenges that stretch you even if they feel daunting or unfamiliar. There is a tendency to avoid discomfort, to seek the path of least resistance. But this avoidance only delays progress. The longer you resist stepping into discomfort, the longer you remain stagnant. Discomfort, when embraced, accelerates growth by forcing you to confront the very things that hold you back. The human tendency is to seek safety and predictability, but progress asks for risk and exploration. It asks you to take that first step into the unknown, even when you are unsure of the outcome. Discomfort sharpens your focus and demands your full attention. It makes you more present, more aware, and more engaged in the process of transformation. It is through discomfort that you discover your strengths and uncover your potential. Every breakthrough moment, whether it's learning a new skill, overcoming a fear, or achieving a goal, comes with a period of discomfort. These moments are rarely easy, but they are always worth the effort. Discomfort is not a punishment, it is a catalyst. It is the process through which old limitations are dismantled and new possibilities emerge. The willingness to embrace discomfort is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. It is what turns aspirations into achievements and potential into reality. A vision is powerful. It provides direction, purpose, and a glimpse of the future you want to create. However, a vision without action is like a ship without a sail. It has no means to move forward. To bring your vision to life, your daily actions must align with it. Every step you take, every decision you make, must be a reflection of the goals and aspirations you hold. Alignment begins with clarity. You cannot align your actions with your vision if your vision is unclear or undefined. A vague desire for success, happiness, or fulfillment is not enough. Your vision must be specific and meaningful to you. It must be detailed enough to serve as a compass, guiding you in your choices and helping you prioritize what truly matters. Once your vision is clear, the next step is intentionality. This means evaluating your actions and ensuring they are purposeful and directed toward your goals. It requires asking yourself at every turn, does this action bring me closer to my vision? If the answer is no, it's an opportunity to reassess and redirect your efforts. Intentionality is the bridge between dreaming and doing, the process of turning aspirations into tangible outcomes. Aligning your actions with your vision often demands discipline and consistency. It's easy to lose focus, to be distracted by the demands of daily life or the temptations of instant gratification. But alignment means staying committed even when the path is challenging. It means waking up every day with a sense of purpose and making choices that reflect your priorities. This discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence and the willingness to course correct when necessary. Alignment also requires honesty and self-awareness. It means recognizing when your actions are out of sync with your vision and having the courage to make changes. This might involve letting go of habits, relationships, or commitments that no longer serve your goals. It might mean confronting hard truths about where your time and energy are being wasted. Self-awareness allows you to identify these misalignments and take steps to correct them. Another key aspect of alignment is taking deliberate, actionable steps toward your vision. A grand vision can feel overwhelming, but progress is made through small, consistent efforts. It's about breaking your vision into manageable tasks and focusing on what you can do today. Each action, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. Over time, these actions compound, creating momentum and moving you closer to your goals. Aligning your actions with your vision also requires adaptability. Life is unpredictable and circumstances can change. Sticking to your vision doesn't mean rigidly following a single plan. It means staying flexible and finding new ways to move forward when obstacles arise. Adaptability allows you to navigate setbacks without losing sight of your ultimate goal. It's also important to surround yourself with an environment that supports your vision. This includes the people you associate with, the habits you cultivate, and the spaces you inhabit. Your environment has a powerful influence on your actions. Aligning your surroundings with your vision creates a supportive framework that reinforces your commitment and helps you stay on track. Alignment is not a one-time effort, it's a continuous process. As you grow and evolve, so might your vision. Regular reflection is essential to ensure that your actions remain in harmony with your evolving goals. This process of recalibration keeps you connected to your purpose and ensures that your efforts are always directed toward what truly matters. True alignment between your actions and your vision requires both courage and accountability. It demands that you take full responsibility for your choices and their consequences. It challenges you to step out of your comfort zone and pursue what you truly desire, even when it feels difficult or uncertain. Every step toward growth demands intention, effort, and an unwavering commitment to your vision. Excuses may feel like temporary shields, but they are barriers that stifle progress. Responsibility is the seed from which transformation sprouts, and discomfort is the fertile ground in which growth takes root. The path to realizing your potential lies in focusing on what you can do rather than what you can't, aligning your daily actions with your larger vision, and embracing the challenges that stretch you beyond your limits. Growth is not something that happens to you, it is something you choose, cultivate, and embody. By breaking free from excuses and committing to deliberate action, you unlock the immense possibilities within you. Progress is not a gift reserved for a few, it is available to anyone willing to embrace discomfort, take responsibility, and move forward with clarity and purpose. Remember, the journey of growth is not about perfection but persistence. Each decision to act in alignment with your vision is a step closer to a life of fulfillment and accomplishment. Let your actions speak louder than your doubts, your focus overpower your excuses, and your vision guide you to the life you are meant to create.